Hello, everyone. Today is July 3rd here in beautiful Prince Edward County, Ontario, Canada. So today we're going to go over a more advanced article from Brietbart. What is Brietbart? Brietbart is a right-wing or conservative, so they prefer tradition, government, law, and order. The opposite of conservative is a liberal. So what does the Breitbart News have to say? So we're going to read the headline together, and then we're going to go over each of the words that seem a little bit more advanced. If you can articulate your points using high velocity language, that's a good way of putting it, people will be more receptive to the things that you have to say. Okay, let's go. Firefighter recovers own daughter's body from Miami condo rubble. First of all, so rubble is when a building comes down and all of the debris. So all of the broken things, that kind of thing. And so essentially there was a big collapse. There was a building in Florida. It's called Surfside, and the building was a majority of Jewish people as well as Spanish people. There were some Asians. So all of a sudden the whole building collapsed. And there's been so far about 30 recovered. They're still going through the rubble, once again, debris, to see if there's any signs of life. After a week and a half without water, it's almost impossible to live. I'm not saying the miracles can't happen, but what can you do? Excuse me. A Miami firefighter recovered the body of his own daughter Thursday evening after rescuers continued to search for survivors in the rubble of the Champlain Tower South collapse, according to local officials. So let's go through this for some difficult words. Okay. Rubble, once again, we got the debris. Champlain Towers, it's a location, so it's a place. You don't have to know it. Collapse is when a building comes and it collapses because, let's say, there's a bomb or natural conditions or the water rises and there's some sort of issue with the integrity of the engineering. Let's go. A first responder who did not want to be identified said rescuers brought her down and the girl's father draped his jacket over her body and placed a small American flag on the gurney. It's a very sad situation. So first responder, first person to get there, responding, so police, ambulance. Okay, good. And draped is kind of like, comes from the French word drapeau. It means a flag. So essentially you're covering. So you drape, let's say I'll use a coat and you're draping your kid so it doesn't get rained on. It's a protective mechanism or it could be a symbolic thing, but draping is covering something with a fabric or something like this. American flag, obviously very patriotic. The gurney is a bed. It's a bed that you go at the hospital gurney, but essentially a gurney is a medical bed. Gurney, medical bed, write this down. The father, his brother, and the other firefighters who dug her out escorted the body through a group of fire officers and firefighters lined up on the roadway. The first responder said, okay, once again, let's go through this for difficult words. Firefighter, again, fire and fighting. Dug, it's the past perfect tense of dig. So I dug something out. To escort, to go with someone. For example, the police escorted the lady because she was scared to go to her car. To escort also is to accompany. Escort means to accompany. And let's see here, that's good. Let's do the next paragraph. Our hearts and prayers are with the families affected by this horrific tragedy. Miami Fire Rescuer Chief Joseph Zaharaban said in a Friday statement. We can confirm there is a member of our city of Miami fire department has lost his 7-year-old daughter in the collapse. She was recovered last night by members of our urban search and rescue team, Florida Task Force 2. Excuse me. So let's go through this for some difficult words. This one I have a hard time pronouncing. It appears to be of Persian extraction. I cannot pronounce, but it's not important to know. So once again, the fire department, Miami, is one of, I believe, the biggest city in Florida, located at the southern position of the state. So it's right at the bottom. I'm going to go and switch here and go to Google Maps, just so we have an idea of where Surfside is. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Okay. So Surfside, Florida. Come on. It's because I'm at the cottage, right? The Wi-Fi is not very good. Okay, so the area, the building happened right here. So if it go out, it's on the pathways to the Florida Keys. So the Florida Keys, we have right here, we have Florida, we have Miami Gardens, we have South Florida Beach. We have all these things going out. Well, let's see here. So most of the people here are very wealthy. A lot of Cubans, lots of rich Asian people, tons of Jewish people. Obviously, anyone who has money wants to live close to the water. Okay, wonderful. Let's go back to this screen. Okay. We ask that you respect the privacy of the immediate family as well as our fire department family while we grieve our loss and support our own. So privacy is not letting anyone else come. It could be private speech. For example, it's privileged. If I want to talk to someone else and say, listen, I want you to know, but I don't want everyone else to know, that I'm telling you a secret. It's private. These words mean the same thing. The opposite would be public. For example, a beach is public for everybody. So in this context, they're going through death. They don't want a lot of people coming and talking to them. They want to grieve alone. So another way of saying this is, please respect our privacy. Okay, there we go. Thursday discovery brings the death toll to 20. 128 people remain unaccounted for. So essentially, because there's so many people, 128, the chance of life after surviving for almost 2 weeks, very small. But part of compassion as human beings is we want to bury the dead to show respect, so people feel a sense of closure. So it's, even though there's no, may not be survivors, it's going to be very beneficial to the family to be able to put them to rest. Scott Nackerman, a FEMA structure specialist, said the demolition would trigger a slowdown in the rescue operation, but it would create a safer working environment that could allow more personnel on the site and accelerate the pace of the work. He said that it would be likely weeks before officials scheduled the demolition. Once again, let's go through our paragraph. Structure. So this is buildings. Let's see, it's architecture. The structure is what holds it together. So a structure you can lean on. It's a weight-bearing structure. So let's say you have a building. The walls may not hold weight, but the towers do. If you have an issue with the ground erosion, with water, this kind of thing, and there's an issue with the actual structural beam, we're going to have a tragedy. So this is very, very important to know. Because why? Because we have global warming, things are changing, sea levels. That's also compromising the integrity of the ground. All these buildings were made in the 70s. Another piece of information is there was roughly $30 million in assigned construction repair, not renovation, it's repair structure. So it's not something optional. It's very integral, very important. And maybe it's COVID, maybe whatever, but for some reason, $30 million was not done. You can say COVID. No, there has to be someone to blame. When you're in this type of situation, you have to make sure, we understand what happened so it cannot happen again. Okay. What else do we have? Personnel comes from the word person, so multiple, it means working. So it's a workforce. Personnel spelled this way based on the French. So personnel, for example, the company has 40 personnel working in the factory. Or personnel could be agents. Anyone who represents, it's another word for, let's say, an employee. Okay. Let's see, accelerate, to go faster. So for example, the accelerator is what you hit in your car to go fast, the opposite of the brake. Okay, so when we want to go and accelerate, we want to speed things up. We want to decelerate, we want to go things slow. Okay, and also demolition means to demolish, means to actually take force, dynamite, or a ball and demolish the whole building and start from scratch. When you have this kind of issue with the structure, there's no way to actually repair it. You have to smash it down and rebuild. Another piece of information for anyone here who wants to know what's going on, there's a second building, a kitty corner to this one, built in the same year, same issues, but they're refusing They're refusing to evict the people. I hope if someone hears this, I don't know. This video is meant for some of my students. It's a very niche video, but I'm posting online for everyone to see. I think that we should all be taking building safety much more seriously. And we should learn from this. We shouldn't let the people here, their deaths be for nothing. The person here is talking about their relative. Their relative died in this. This could happen to anybody. Let's hope that everyone around the world listens to this and learns from the Americans' mistakes. No one has been rescued since the first hours of the collapse on the 12-story Champlain Tower South condominium. A condominium, that is a building, an apartment that you own. So if you rent, you pay month by month. It is a rent, it's an apartment. But if you own it, you pay condo fees, maintenance fees, condominium. It's a little bit hard. Condominium. Another shorter way, an abbreviation is condo. On Friday morning, about a dozen workers could be seen digging through the pile that now reached about 20 feet, 6 meters in metric, more than 10 feet, 3 meters, less than it was a week ago. This is a very sad situation. It doesn't apply to here in Toronto, but if you look through this, listen, follow along, stop, go over. If there's a word you can't pronounce, keep going over until it sounds right. I think that's good for today. Have a wonderful day from Prince Edward County, Ontario. Peace, love, shalom. Bye.